With Lords of Shadow, Konami are hoping to breathe new life into a 25-year-old franchise. But with God of War and Dante's Inferno having already hit this year, do we have the energy for another epic action-adventure game? Anyone who played Dante's Inferno will find the game's story very familiar. An 11th century knight, Gabriel Belmont, attempts to bring back to life his dead wife, brutally murdered by the supernatural forces tormenting the world.
Forgive me. I was not there to save you.
There is nothing to forgive, my love. I am so happy to look upon your face again.
And I yours.
You must help us, Gabriel.
What are they telling you? Who are they?
They are the spirits who founded your order, and that the power of the Lords of Shadow is the key. They talk of a prophecy. I don't understand what they mean. I can feel myself fading. I can hardly see you. Darkness is closing around me.
Marie.
I love you, Gabriel.
Don't go, Marie! I love you too.
Robert Carlyle and Californication's Natasha McElhone aren't the only known actors here. Patrick Stewart plays Belmont's mentor in what is a familiar but well-told story.
Why are you here? Who sent you?
I am Zobek, a warrior of your brotherhood. Pan and I are old acquaintances. He felt you would be in need of my assistance.
Take this. It will allow you to absorb spiritual energy and will help cure your wounds. Good luck, my friend. May we be granted victory.
Thank you, brother. You have given me renewed hope.
As you travel through the world, you discover that those pesky evil supernatural forces have left much of it in ruins, albeit fairly spectacular and beautiful ones. It's a good job then that Belmont has some pretty nifty climbing moves, because he's going to be doing quite a lot of traversing throughout the game's 50 levels. Walk over a ledge to assume the climbing position, then use the left stick to drop down further. As in God of War, there are times when you'll need to hold a grip button to avoid being dislodged, but there's no grip stamina to worry about this time, which makes holding on less frustrating, but also less pressured. Belmont can rappel down using the combat cross, his whip, the equivalent of Kratos' chains. A quick diversion now to pick up something. Collecting hidden gems scattered throughout the levels allows you to improve your health and combat abilities. Nothing new there. As well as repelling, the combat cross can be used to swing across gaps too big to jump. Belmont's climbing skills, though effective, certainly aren't revolutionary. Many of the climbing sections like this are pretty linear. Without multiple routes, some will find them a little too untaxing. Okay, at the heart of any Castlevania game is some good old-fashioned hack-and-slash combat, and Lords of Shadow is no exception. We've already seen how the combat cross can help when climbing, but its primary purpose is of course for dispensing with nasty orcs and devil creatures. The bar at the bottom of the screen, our combat focus meter, rises with each successful hit and resets upon a miss. Fill it up and you'll improve your death dealing and recuperative powers, so it pays not to button mash. With only one enemy to worry about now, we can use the damage-wielding direct attack. If there was a crowd to deal with, we'd use the weaker area attack. We enjoyed the game's simple combat system. There's plenty of variety, but many of the combat sections were disappointingly flat like this. Enemies were a little too familiar, and certainly when compared to God of War, it feels undecidedly unepic at times. You can't make an action-adventure these days, it seems, without having some huge bosses to climb. Conveniently, this one has glowing parts showing the path we need to take. The climbing and traversing abilities of your combat cross will get much use as you navigate these shaking behemoths. But in contrast to similar games, taking out bosses doesn't require lots of repetitive actions, so you'll use it less for repeatedly lashing weak spots. The gameplay is more akin to a long series of quick-time actions that must be completed successfully to bring about your enemy's downfall. The plus side of this approach is that the boss sections have their own story arcs and can be quite surprising. Undoubtedly though, some would have preferred to have had to work harder for their victory.
Show yourself. The Brotherhood needs your help. I need your help.
I know who you are, Gabriel. I am the guardian of the Lake of Oblivion, where the living can communicate with the dead.
Providing a breather between the combat and climbing sections are some puzzles. This one involves rotating the rings to line up the path, so we can reach Mrs. Belmont before that swinging blade does. Oops. Better try that again. This is one of the game's simpler puzzles, but don't expect them to become significantly harder. As with other elements of the game, we couldn't help but feel challenge had been sacrificed to keep the story moving along quickly.
What does this mean? Tell me.
Only that you have passed the test. You appear worthy of entering the Lake of Oblivion.
Okay, verdict time. On the plus side, this is a beautiful and enjoyable action-adventure game with some dazzling highlights. But it's let down by a lack of challenge and an overwhelming feeling of overfamiliarity. 7 out of 10.